What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades. Well, guys and gals, it is once again that time of the year. As we come to the close of the year 2017, I know you've seen it. There has been a flood of top 5 and top 10 knife videos from every knife reviewer on YouTube. I mean, there's top 10 folder videos and top 5 fixed blade videos and the top 10 budget knives of the year and the top 10 expensive knives of the year and the top 10 blue knives of the year. If you watch LTK's channel, I'm pretty sure he's going to do a top 10 blue knife of the year. You guys go over there and ask him about that. So we're going to do something a little different on my channel. As many of you know that sub to my channel and have followed me this year, 2017 is not going to go down in the books as a banner year for Baz on Blades. In fact, I'm about ready just to move on past 2017 and get to 2018. This year has been rough. I've taken a beating, guys. I just feel like I've been beat down all year, especially in the last quarter of the year. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to do a top 10 list that sort of made light of the year, that let me shed the weight and the burden of 2017. And it's just going to allow me to look forward to 2018, which I think is going to be a really, really good year as we move forward with this channel, as I move forward and back into making knives and selling custom knives again. This is just sort of a, I don't even know what you would call this. I don't know anything about psychology, but this, I just want to get rid of 2017. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the top 10 knives that my broke ass just couldn't stand to sell this year. Because I've had to sell most of my collection in order to pay bills. And these are knives I could not stand to sell these knives for one reason or another. Whether I just love the design, I love the feel of them, I love the look of them. There's something in each of these knives that makes them a core piece in my collection, and there's no reason I'm going to get rid of them. If I end up homeless on the street, I am going to have my knife roll with these knives in it tucked away in my cardboard box up under the bridge, and it'll be me and my knives and my cardboard box. So let's go ahead and get into the top 10 knives that my broke ass just could not stand to sell this year. And we're going to start out with a couple of small fixed blades. I really love small fixed blades. I carry a small fixed blade as a backup when I carry my firearm, which is often. Because in 2017, if somebody wasn't trying to shoot you, they were trying to stab you or blow you up if you watch the news. So what we've got first of all right here is an offering from Columbia River. This is the Baca fixed blade. It's a Lucas Burnley design. I love this little knife. I mean, I love this little knife. It's got a 3.6 inch blade. It's 7.6 inches overall. It's in HCR 14 MOV. It is a Japanese inspired fixed blade Kwaiken. It's got a great little compact injection molded sheath. I love this little sheath. I love the way you carry it, the ripcord style that you carry it. And this is one of only 2 knives this year that I liked so much that I bought a second version of the knife. And I don't have the type of collection where I just love a knife so much I want to buy every version of it. I've never done that. I typically will only have one example of a knife in my collection, and I will just go through all the available versions and I'll pick the one that I like the most, that I think most represents the positive attributes of that knife. But I love this knife so much, I bought a second one, and that's the satin finish with the red ray skin underlay. You know what? I I can't get past how much I love this little knife. And there was no way that I was going to get rid of this knife for any reason at all. It is such a good little carry piece. It gives you a traditional look in a compact size. It makes the perfect backup blade. And you know what? This is one of those knives that when people see it, they don't, it's not scary looking. It's not big. It's not black. It's not tactical. It's sort of traditional. And everybody, when they look at this, they go, oh, okay. You know, I can see. So I love this design so much. I just could not get rid of this knife. All I could do was buy a second one. And I love this knife, guys. All right, we'll go on to the next knife. It's another small fixed blade, and this one is from Tops Knives. This is the Lioness Rockies edition. Now, overall, it's pretty much the same size as the old Baca lengthwise, a little wider profile. You're right at about a 3 3/4 or 4-inch blade length, 7.6 inches overall. It's in 1095 carbon steel. It's got a very compact handle with a super deep choil area here. There's no way you're going to slip up on this knife blade. Great jimping. This rising point, sort of trailing point design is reminiscent of another of my favorite knives that is on this list. And you will see this one come back as a comparison a little bit later. I love this knife. It is a fantastic, compact, hideout, concealed carry backup blade, guys. I highly recommend this Lioness model, especially for the guys in this Rockies edition. Now, this was originally marketed as a knife for women, and there's a pink version and a purple version, and, you know, I don't care too much for those, but this and the acid stonewash with the natural micarta scales on it, it's got a good Kydex sheath with it. It's a joy to carry and a joy to use. All right, the next knife we're going to get into some folders here is the lone representative for Kenzo this year. I've moved quite a few Kenzo knives through my collection, and I've gotten rid of every one of them except for this one. And I think this is the best design Kenzo has ever done. Now, Kenzo is known for borrowing designs, but this is an original design. We've had at the end of this year a run of great original designs from Kenzo, and I think this is the best from them. You're looking at about 3.5-inch blade, 8 inches overall, and 440C stainless for the blade steel. It's a nice wide utilitarian blade shape with plenty of belly, a nice tip, a super high flat grind, thin edge. The handle is ergonomic to say the least. It is very organic, very ergonomic. It is, if this knife, I'm going to tell you right now, if this knife was done in S35VN and a titanium frame lock by Zero Tolerance, it would have been their #1 seller of the year. I'm not shitting you guys. This design is so good. If you only have one Kenzo, just as a representative of the brand in that budget price range, this is the one I recommend. I do not see myself getting rid of this knife, and if I do any budget buys this year for gifts, it will probably be this knife. All right. We're going to move on to the next folder, and this is a surprise for me. It's another budget knife. It is a Kershaw product. This is the Kershaw Emerson CQC 6K. I bought this knife to review on the channel, and then I was going to either sell it, give it away in a giveaway, or just gift it to somebody. But I really like this little knife. It is a little more compact than what I typically carry and prefer, at a 3 1/4-inch blade length, 7 3/4 inches overall. The blade steel is HCR 14 MOV. It is a classic Emerson design. I love Ernest Emerson's design language. It's very well done, import version by Kershaw in a frame lock, stainless steel. Just the handle on this is just, it's perfect, guys. It's a little compact. It may not work real well for large hands or extra large, but in my medium-sized hands, it makes for a perfect, compact EDC type of blade. You've got the wave feature, thumb disc opening. It's pretty smooth, running on nylon washers. I really love this drop point blade. I just like everything about this knife. And even though it's a budget model, it has quickly become a core model in my collection. And is the only Kershaw Emerson design I have. It is the representative of that line for my collection. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. This next knife is pretty special to me. It is a knife that I probably would have never bought, and I would have missed out on it. It's an exceptional little knife, but this knife was gifted to me by a sub. Thank you once again, Tar Brehan. This was a highlight of my year right here, guys, that anybody would think highly enough of a stranger to send them something like this. And this is the steel wheel cut jack 3-inch version. This is the FRN handle, the D2 blade version in a 3-inch blade, 7 inches overall. It is a liner lock flipper. It is on phosphor bronze bushings. This example that I have is exceptional. It is one of the best washer flippers that I have ever held or played with. It's just exceptional action, butter smooth. I really like this design. I love this blade design. I love this forward choil. This is a small, detail-oriented knife, and the handle design is just incredibly ergonomic. This knife almost instantly became a core piece in my collection. I'm very thankful that it came through this year, and I will not get rid of this knife. As I said, this one will be with me on the street as I'm sleeping in my cardboard box. Okay, the next one up is the Baca Kalashnikov Auto. All right, now this is a Blade HQ exclusive version. It's part of their Desert Warrior collection. The copper colored coated blade with the OD green handles. I like that color combination, and it's not any more expensive than the rest of these models. They're all $39 every day, day in and day out, guys. And you know what? I've played with a lot of budget automatics, and this is the hardest firing budget automatic I've ever come across in my life. No, it is not billet machined. No, it's not in a high-end steel. It's a painted handle instead of an anodized handle. But you cannot argue with how hard this thing fires. Man, it fires hard, guys. What you've got is a 3.4-inch blade that is in AUS 8. The knife is 7 5/8 inches overall. It's a very ergonomic handle, and I don't like handles with finger grooves all throughout the handle, but this one fits my hands. This particular version is in the sort of one-sided dagger grind. It has a moderately thin edge for having such a shallow grind on it, because the blade stock thickness is not super thick. But you know what? If you want to get an automatic, you want to put one in your collection, maybe you live in a state where you can't carry an automatic, so you don't want to spend a lot of money on one, but you can own it in your collection, these are a great option for that. Like I say, they fire extremely hard. They're available in multiple different blade styles, blade finishes, handle finishes. There's even Damascus versions. The most expensive version of this knife that I've ever seen is $69, guys. And that's a pretty good deal. But in the normal versions like this, $39. And like I say, they fire hard. And this is one that if I'm just going to have one automatic in my collection, I'm going to keep this one. It is such a good representation of what you can get for a little bit of money. All right. Now, the next knife is one of the first knives, the first two knives that I featured on this channel when I started it earlier this year. It almost instantly became my go-to for a folding knife for any type of martial use, whether defensive or offensive. I love everything about this knife. There is only one small thing about the knife that I think could have been done better. And this is another knife that I loved so much I bought a second copy of. And that is the Cold Steel Talwar G10. This is the 4-inch version. This knife, in my opinion, for my hands, is quite possibly the finest folding fighter I have ever seen. The blade style is wicked in every way, whether you're going to slice with it or pierce with it. The handle grip, when I grip this in my hand, it feels like it was custom molded for my hands. It is lightweight for its size, because we're talking about almost 4 inches of blade length, 9 1/4 inches overall. So it is a full-size knife. Now, this is one of the newer versions after 2015, so it's in CTS XHP for the blade steel. That's a very high-end stainless steel, powdered steel from Carpenter Steel. Exceptional edge retention, great toughness, great corrosion resistance, fabulous steel upgrade from Cold Steel in 2015. And I love this knife so much that the OD green with black just wasn't enough for me. I had to grab a second one. This is my Saturday night version. This is in the blue G10 with a satin finish blade, and I'm not going to play with it too much because it's a very high polish on that blade. These are my go-to knives if I am ever going to even consider carrying a folder for martial use. And this is a knife that I wanted to talk about and bring back that Knives Lioness. And the reason is, let's move this blue one to the side here, is the blade profile. I want you guys to look at this from two different companies. Look at these blade profiles. Look at that, guys. Damn near exactly the same blade profiles. Very, very close. I love this trailing point Indo-Persian inspired blade profile. This was a happy coincidence to me, and it's funny because the folder is way bigger than the Tops fixed blade, guys. Look at that. You can see how compact this Knives Lioness is now. But that blade profile, guys, on the Talwar, fantastic. Fantastic in the hand. Fantastic build. Lightweight, G10, no liners. Guys, I love this knife. And unfortunately, it was discontinued at the very first of this year. You cannot even find these with the CTS XHP blades in the 4-inch version. You cannot find them, guys. There are people that are on eBay that are selling these knives for $200 or $250, and they were well below $100 before they were discontinued. And I know, because I've been looking for a third one in a black handle with a satin finish blade to make it a trinity in my collection. So you know that I really love this knife, because I very seldom buy more than one example of any knife, and to want 3 versions of this knife in my collection, says a lot, guys. This right here is the folding fighter for me. I've never touched anything that just fit me better than this knife. All right, we're going to go on, and this next knife again is one I could not get rid of. I could not get rid of, and this is a Kaiser. This is my favorite Kaiser knife. I've held and owned a few and played with them, and this one, just guys, I just love this knife, and that is the Sheepdog. You know, Chris Conway, that designed this knife for Sheepdog Knives and then licensed the design to Kaiser for this production collaboration. This is one of those knives that just everything about it is right. It gives you a big old wide cleaver type of blade. This is a big honking wide blade, but it's pretty compact actually. It's 3 1/4 inches long. The knife is 7 3/4 inches long overall. The blade steel CPM S35 VN, which I love, and you know what? It's just a very ergonomic handle. I think it's as far as the cleavers that we had the big fad this past year, it's one of the more attractive models. And this is just an excellently built knife. And when I did my review of this knife, I said that it appeared to me that Kaiser was just trying to make the smoothest knife in the world, and they probably did that. Everything, literally everything about this knife is smooth. From the feel, the edges, the grinds, the action. I mean, everything about this knife is just like oil on butter. It's like first time sex with a super hot chick. For you women that may be watching, you may not understand that. Just sort of extrapolate it over to super hot guy. But for us guys, this thing is, you touch it and it's just, you just want to keep touching it. I mean, I'm rubbing on it right now. I'm sort of getting aroused. I'm going to quit rubbing on it. But this one is another one I could not stand to let go of. I also this year did the Kaiser Megatherium, which I really, really liked. I very much liked that knife. But for me personally, it just didn't have the magic that this design does. I don't think that I'll ever get rid of this knife. It's just so impressive in so many different ways. Okay, the next knife was a departure for me, because I'm not a huge fan of this company's knives, and not because there's anything wrong with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. I have just always been a fan of more chunky knives. And this company makes, in my opinion, a little more delicate knife. Not delicate in the sense that if you look at them the wrong way, they're going to break, but delicate in the sense that they are thinner and slicier and pointier. And that is Spyderco. And what we've got here is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 Blurple Edition. Now they call this dark blue, but everybody knows it is not dark blue. It is blurple, which is blue and purple combined. It's more purple than anything. But it's sort of a semi-transparent G10. You can actually see running right here. You can see light coming through that, and you can see the shadows of the liner underneath it. You know, it took me, it feels like a lifetime to finally jump on the PM2 bandwagon, and I'm glad that I finally did with this version of this knife. I very much like the Paramilitary 2, and if I only had one Spyderco in my collection for the rest of my life, you know, one Spyderco, just me and the Spyderco in our cardboard box underneath the bridge, it's going to be this one. The blade steel, CPM S110V, very high hardness, high carbon, Incredible edge retention, steel, combined with the full flat grind, very thin edge, fantastic factory edge on this knife. What you're looking at in the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 is a 3.4 inch blade, 8 1/4 inches overall. Very ergonomic handle design. I think there's a fair understanding across the knife world that for the full size, more heavy duty use Spydercos, the PM2 is the knife. For those of you that like the smaller, the FRN, the lighter, the Delicas, and things like that, to me, that's a different class with Spyderco. In the more heavy-duty knives, I think that the PM2, the Paramilitary 2, is pretty much the Spyderco. I'm very happy to have this in my collection, and I will probably never, ever get rid of this knife. All right. Now, the last knife that I want to talk about, number 10, is probably my favorite knife in my collection. It is one that I absolutely will not get rid of for any reason. My plans as of the end of 2017 is that this knife be in my pocket when I am lowered down into my grave in my casket. I think this is the best knife that is made by this company. It is a damn near perfect design that I honestly would not change a thing on. I pretty much love everything about this knife, and that is the zero tolerance 0452 carbon fiber. I very much like long, thin, easily carried knives that are lightweight, and this knife is fabulous. It is, it's my favorite zero tolerance of all time, and I have owned, I don't even know how many zero tolerance folders, including some limited edition stuff, and I've gotten rid of every one of them except for this knife. I love this knife, this Sinkovich design that's based on his Coordinal model. You get a 4.1 inch blade length, guys, and CPM S35VN in this version. A unlined, no steel liner, carbon fiber show side scale, titanium frame lock. I mean, you've got all the goodies here. Decorative pivot. You've got hardened steel lock face and over travel insert. You've got I love this pocket clip design. A lot of people replace this clip. They're like, oh, it's too small. It's got zero tolerance on it. It's not titanium, blah, blah, blah. I love this pocket clip. It's a pocket clip, guys. It's not a piece of jewelry. It's a pocket clip. It clips it on your pocket. It's compact. It clips it on your pocket well. It's a deep carry. I mean, look, this is it right here, guys. That's all that's going to be poking out when this is down in your pocket. You put this knife where the blade fully nests within that handle and is under an inch wide or right at an inch. When you put it down in your pocket, it just goes away. I wouldn't be surprised you put this down in your pocket and 10 minutes later you're like, oh, where'd my knife go? It just feels like it's not there. And that is fabulous in a 4.1 inch blade length. It is lightweight. I can't remember the weight. I want to say it's 4.8 ounces, 4.6 ounces, something like that. This knife is 9 1/4 inches overall. At, you know, a 4.6 ounce weight. Let's just say 4.6. I can't remember what it is. It's in my review. I've got a full review on it where I gush over it for like 25 minutes. But I love this knife. And it will stay with me forever. There is no way that I'm going to get rid of this knife ever. I'm never going to get rid of it, guys. It's that good. And that is the end of my top 10 knives that my broke ass just would not sell in 2017 list. Guys, I want to say to close out this year, I appreciate every one of you. Every one of you. This is one of the best enthusiast communities I've ever been involved in my life. Complete strangers that don't know anything about you other than the sound of your voice and what kind of knives you like have really just come to my rescue this year. Like I said, 2017 has been a hard year. Doing this channel, making the friends that I've made through this channel, it's just been a saving grace. Every one of you are my heroes. I want to say thank you to everybody that supported me in 2017. Thank you to those that have sent me knives out of the blue, that have gifted me knives, that have gifted things to the channel to resell in order to raise funds. That is, without a doubt, one of the most special things about this is the people that I've met, the friendships that I have made, the support that I have received. Thank you to all of you knife reviewers out there. Thank you to LTK for his support this year. Patty's Potato Peelers. Oh my God, guys. Everyday Carry with Aaron. I've put myself on the spot, and I don't have a list of people out here. And I don't want to put people on the spot and put a spotlight on them anyway. But just overall, thank you guys. And as we go into 2018, it's going to be a great year. I hope and pray that every one of you stick around and get to enjoy it with me. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.